welcome to another episode of Vegging Out with Martha. Today I'm joined by my son, my baby boy. He's not a baby anymore. This is a special episode on the vegetarian athlete. My son Londale is 22 years old, 6'6", 200 pounds.
Just D's. Just
solid. He has played competitive basketball from the age of 8 through the age of 21, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Big, strong, very competitive. When people see him and they know that he's a vegetarian, it's like he's a freak of nature. They're like, dude, what do you eat? Where do you get your protein? How do you work out? How do you maintain your athleticism? So we're going to answer all those questions for you today. And I'm going to interview him. I know all the answers, but I'm going to let him say it in his own words. Son, first of all, why are you still a vegetarian? I know you were born and raised vegetarian because he had no choice because he's my baby, but why are you still a vegetarian?
Well, I'm still a vegetarian because I have adopted the spiritual beliefs that they instilled in me growing up, when I was younger. And I really do believe in the philosophy that, you shouldn't, take unnecessary life and, have all the suffering come back onto you with eating meat. So I still strongly believe that. So that's why I'm still a vegetarian to this day. And I always will be for the rest of my life.
So ladies, take notice. Write it down. All right, tell me, growing up, we had numerous road trips, whether we had to fly or drive, basketball tournaments all over the country. How did you handle eating on the road?
Well, one thing I always had to do, I always had to make sure that I had a packed lunch with me. Because, especially like with the Vegas road trips in high school, we used to go to Vegas every single year during high school to play tournaments. All the coaches would take us to was like fast food restaurants and stuff like that. So I always had to make sure I had my food packed, whether it be a lot of veggie burgers, whether it be what I used to eat was chickettes. We don't eat that anymore though.
Because they're no longer vegan after 40 years. But guys, I figured out an alternative. It's an awesome recipe. I'll put it on my site soon, so keep checking back.
And so I just always had to make sure I had something with me, whether it be some type of sweet potatoes and yams with me, or, I always just made sure I had something I could eat.
So here's the thing. My entire family is trained in taking care of their needs up front. He's been cooking since he was probably about 16. My daughter's been cooking since she was about 9 or 10. Whenever he had a road trip or a game or whatever, he knew if he didn't make it himself, he'd say, Mom, this is what I need. And I would pack sometimes a weekend's worth or 3 days worth of food. It wasn't that difficult though, because I knew he was going to get good nutrition on the road. So here's the #1 question he's always asked. Where do you get your protein?
Where do I get my protein? Well, a lot of people ask that question, obviously, because they look at me like, oh, you probably just eat salad, right? No, you think I got these guns over for eating salad? Come on, man. So there's a lot of stuff that has protein. Of course, veggie burgers, they have a good source of protein. A lot of other things, they got some wheat meat stuff that has a lot of protein in it. Seitan has a lot of good protein. Every now and then when you cook the penne pasta with the little tofurkey Italian sausages, that has a lot of protein in there. Just really a wide range of things. Almost every single meal I eat is high in protein.
Probably higher in protein than a lot of meat eaters. In my book, Throwing Down Vegetarian Style, you can check it out on the website. You can even download the chapter for free, Where Do You Get Your Protein? I'm going to show you a chart right now. The top 5 sources of protein are from plant sources. So more than a porterhouse steak, more than tuna, more than chicken. The top 5 sources are all vegan. They're from plant sources. As I said in an earlier episode, some of the biggest, strongest animals on the planet are pure vegetarians. So we're basically cutting out the middleman by not eating processed meat and going directly to the vegetarian sources. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, but I know that it works because there's no way he could grow to be this size and have this strength. And my daughter as well, without getting adequate nutrition. So regardless of what anyone says, I'm living proof, my family's living proof, that you can be big, strong, and athletic on a vegetarian diet. Okay, son, when you went away to college, he actually went away to school to New Mexico State and then the College of Idaho. You didn't have mom's good home cooking, so what'd you do? How'd you survive?
Well, I really had to learn even more than usual, learn some cooking tips from you, because when I went away, I had to learn how to cook the rice dishes that she made, and then had to learn how to cook some Italian green beans, and I just had to learn how to cook a lot of stuff. And the cookbook that she actually came out with was like survival for me, because it was so easy. I never really cooked before, so when I was cooking back in college, it was just very easy. I just read the steps, didn't really know what I was doing, but I just followed the steps. Hooked it up a little bit, ate a little bit, and it tasted almost just like yours. It tasted very, very good.
He's an excellent cook. That is the proof that my cookbook is so easy. You guys know, I told you I don't love to cook. I love to take care of my family. So my recipes are quick, easy, nutritious, healthy, in and out of the kitchen, so I can hang out and do everything else I want to do with my life.
And the funny thing about that was my teammates, I had 2 roommates that were living with me. And a lot of times they would just maybe eat at fast food restaurants or try to get food to eat. They're on a basketball team too, so we're always hungry. So a lot of times I would cook, broke. So a lot of times I would cook big meals, and they would always, yo, what you cooking? Like, oh, this, that, oh, word, can I have some? I'm like, yeah, you can have a little bit, and they would love it. And so eventually it came to the point where they would actually pay me to get the stuff, and so I could cook it for everybody. So we would be throwing down in there. So
you buy, cool. We fry. Basically, that was he was running.
You buy, we fry.
And even in the middle of New Mexico or in the middle of Idaho, he found basically 90% of all the meat alternatives that I use right here in Los Angeles. We are in such a wonderful age. 25 years ago, that wasn't the case when I became vegetarian. We're in such a wonderful age now where literally no matter where he goes in the country, he can find things. He pulls out my cookbook, he's like, oh, okay, well, Mom uses this, but I can kind of substitute that. He's very creative, and he keeps it moving. And he stays, his health is his main concern. He's played at an elite level. His body is his instrument. He takes care of it. He maintains his philosophy of vegetarianism all through playing athletics, going on road trips. He'd be the only one on the road trip on the plane or on the bus with his baggie of food, and his teammates be like, dang, is that them chicas or is that whatever?
I'll tell you a funny story though. We were playing in New Jersey for a basketball tournament when I was with New Mexico State. And we were staying at the hotel for Thanksgiving. So we had a Thanksgiving dinner at the hotel, but the hotel food wasn't good at all. Everybody was getting stuff and they were like, I don't want to eat this, man, I'm hungry. And I knew I wasn't going to eat anything at the hotel, so I brought my the stuff I brought on the road trip at that time. They were chicas when they were vegan. Had some barbecue those, and I had a rice dish with me, and I was eating that, and it was good. So everyone was looking at my plate like, man, that looked kind of good, I'm like, go ahead. I gave a few of my teammates a little bites. I didn't give them too much because I'm hungry. So I gave them, some of my food, and they really liked it. Like, man, this is better than what we eating. I was like, hey, that's not too bad.